I won't stand for it.
Not my president.
I won't stand for it.
You'll sit down for it,
okay?
though.
Your attitude
wears you out.
Your attitude is unnecessary.
Unacceptable.
Yeah, it is.
I can see you scrolling porn while you talk to me.
I'm not scrolling porn at all.
You're not surfing the hub?
No. Dude, the clip that me and Addison put out for our podcast, holy shit. Me and him were recording an episode in the car on the way back from Mumford's show the other night.
Yeah.
And there was just cops everywhere. It was the most nerve-wracking podcast I've ever recorded in my entire life. Yeah. It was insane.
So you were doing some traveling and you were worried.
Yeah, duh. Because we were recording in the car. So he was holding a mic in the driver's seat.
Oh, I thought you just like set the phone up and we're recording it that way.
Oh no, we used my Zoom recorder and recorded it that way. And the clip that we put up, we're talking.
And you had a couple of drinks too, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I mean, whatever, dude. You sound like the police when you talk like that, bro. How many times I gotta tell you?
Stop being a narc.
Knock that shit off, Grandpa. Fuck, dude.
Well, I'm glad you traveled this way to do that, because
bro, that show was fucking awesome. It was cool getting to hang out, like, because I mean, you and I have
fun doing a new place too.
Well, yeah, and it's also fun when you do a new room and the room does well, you know?
Yeah.
It's like,
I don't know what that's like.
It's, yeah, well, yeah, you don't know what doing well is like at all.
You motherfucker. I meant having a new room, but yeah, that too.
Oh, I thought you meant being funny.
Oh, well, obviously.
I'm just kidding. I still love you, though.
That's what we're working on. But no, I was going to say somebody else who's traveled quite a bit is who I plan on calling this week.
Okay.
And
who you got?
Beau. Troxclair.
Ooh. Yeah, he's a dude. He was
like a world traveler,
man.
Yeah. Let's see if we can get a hold of him real quick.
All right.
He last I heard he was like overseas. I don't even know. Oh, hey.
He is overseas.
It looks like he's overseas or on the high seas.
Well, I recently bought an island.
High sea.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah?
Yeah, it's called Little St. James Island.
Fuck yeah.
I bought it at a very good discount because apparently it was owned by this guy named Jeffrey Epstein. I don't know anything about him, but he was selling.
I'm sure you got a great deal.
Right. Yeah. This is his temple. Anyway.
How you been, man?
I've been, good. All things considered, right?
He was going uphill. Oh, I'm okay.
I'm doing.
Because I was like, when someone asks that question, your first instinct is just be like, I'm doing great. But then I thought about it, and I was like, oh man, yeah, this.
Yeah, you gotta detach from reality for a hot second, or you're gonna spill the truth.
Right.
That's how I am too. I'm doing. Yeah. Right. Where are you at now? Because you were traveling for a while, right?
Yeah. So I'm New York City.
That's
New York City.
Center of the universe.
Holy shit.
Center of the pandemic universe.
Yo, dude, so I was telling Carlton a little bit, or like last week, I moved there in January, or moved here in January of last year. And then 2 months later,
kaboom.
I got COVID like immediately.
Jesus.
What?
Dude, that's exactly what happened. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna move to New York. I'm gonna do the comedy thing. I'm gonna be a famous comedian. And then immediately comedy was illegal.
But you're a pioneer. You do things first. And getting COVID was one of them.
Exactly.
I like how you got ahead of the curve on that though.
Right. Yeah.
Right. And then I was like, I guess I'm immune. And then they were like, no,
we don't know that yet.
Yeah. Like maybe for a bit, but it'll come back.
The only thing I'm immune to now is comedy, because everything's shut the fuck down.
Right, exactly.
Comedy's immune to you too, Carlton.
I knew you were gonna say. I knew if I set it up like that, as soon as it came out of my mouth, I was like, God damn it, Nick's gonna just jump
You're
on
welcome.
But yeah.
Oh.
So what have you been doing in the meantime?
You were in the UK.
Yeah, I was in London and I moved back. Not last September, but the September before.
Oh. Jesus.
And yeah,
so how long were you over there?
About 10 months.
Okay.
Damn.
Yeah. I mean,
I can't believe so the fact that 2020 is basically a wash, it throws all the numbers off on everything, because I think when you did Busky,
you know what, Carlton, you're used to saying that the numbers are skewed.
Shut up. When you did Busky, it was like
Exaggerated,
right
inflated.
before you left for England, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know it feels like a lifetime ago, honestly.
Yeah, like
Lifetime
everything
ago,
feels like it's a completely different world.
yeah, or a week and a half ago. Like honestly, I have no idea how
Yeah,
long.
that's the worst. That's now you guys know what it's like to be me. I don't know whether something happened a week ago or 3 years ago, and that's what gets me in trouble with the wife because I say, "Remember when we went to that thing and it turns out it was my first wife and not her, and it fucks me off."
Ooh,
Yeah,
dude,
I gotten burned so many fucking times on that. It's not even.
I
funny.
introduced Michelle to someone that she had already gotten tattooed by. I brought her to the shop, had my friend tattoo her, and then brought her back to get another tattoo and introduced her to everyone all over again, like it had never happened. And my buddy was just like, "Hey, it's nice to meet you."
Again.
And hit one of the other tattooers at the shop. She was like, "Yeah, we've already met her, Ginger. We met her the last time you guys were here." And I was like, "Oh, fuck, really?" And they were like, "Yeah." And my buddy was like, "I just thought you had another girlfriend, and I was just being a good friend. I didn't throw you under the bus. I just didn't say anything about it." And I was like, "That's a true friend."
He forgot
God
to.
damn it.
This feels
No,
like
he knew. He knew.
Oh, okay.
He just thought that she was a different girl because of how confident I was that I was just
Introducing
introducing
For
her
the first
all
time.
over again.
I'm never confident with anything,
We
so
know.
I just assume that I'm wrong every single time. But so what if you came back to New York and shit hit the fan, and what have you been doing in the meantime? Now that you're recovered, thank goodness.
Oh my gosh. I mean, like more of the fucking same, man. You know, like I've been, you know, I work in tech sort of generally. I've been doing like contracting stuff, but yeah, I had to quit doing stand up for a while. And I haven't even
Well,
I have
everybody had to.
Yeah, well, sure, but
Yeah, I was
I
gonna
haven't
say you're not
started-
alone on that one.
Right. I remember I was at like a party not too long ago and someone asked, I was like, yeah, I do, you know, I do stand up. And they were like, fucking do a set. And, you know,
I hate when people.
That's the worst.
Or
Right.
the worst is, I got a joke for you. You can use on stage. No, you
Right.
don't.
It's
You could
one-
put this
one
in
of-
your
one of-
act.
As if you go, it's like a law of comedy. If you go to a party and tell someone you're a comedian, either they will say, tell me a joke, or they will say, oh dude, I got the perfect bit for you.
Yeah,
It's the
I actually
worst.
used to be one of those people that was like, yeah, I started doing stand up like right when I started, and within 2 months I realized never say that anymore. It's fucking
Yeah.
stupid.
Don't
Let someone else say, oh, I know that he's been doing stand up downtown, and I'm like, oh yeah, I do a little bit. Like if it gets brought up now, then I'm okay. But if I don't volunteer the information anymore because
That happens to me at work a lot. Like in conversation, if I say something funny and my coworkers will laugh like with their customers about it, and their customers are like, "Man, he's crazy," and they're like, "No, he's a comedian."
yeah,
And I don't acknowledge it, and they're like, "No, like he's an actual, like he's a comic, like he's a comedian."
that's like walking away from an explosion in a movie.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a comedian. You just walking away like, yeah, they thought I was funny. You don't
Dude,
look
one
back.
time, this guy at my job goes, "I'm funnier than you," and I was like, "What are you talking about, dude?" And he said something to one of the ladies that works there, and they were like, "Yeah, he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm the resident comedian here, whatever." And they're like, "No, we actually have like an actual comedian that works here." And they pointed at me, and he was like, "I'm funnier than that guy." And then like a couple days later that same week, I was pumping gas, and some dude gets out of a taxi, like a van, like a white taxi van, and he like stands up on the driver's side, like yells over the roof of the van, "I'm funnier than you, dog." And I was like, pump in the middle of pumping gas. I'm like, "What?" And he was
Nick
like,
Deez, the only person who gets heckled when in
"In
regular
real
life.
fucking life, twice in 1 week." The dude, so the gas pump was worse. The guy at the gas pump goes, "I'm funnier than you, dog." And I was like, all I could say back was, "What?" And he was like, "You're a comic, right?" And I went, "Yeah." And he goes, "Yeah, I'm funnier than you." And then he got back in the car and drove off. And I was
That
just
is-
like, what the fuck just
Nick, that just
happened?
made my entire fucking day. Just
You're welcome.
hearing that.
So what happened there? Was like, so this other, was it the same guy?
No,
Or
it was completely different. It was in
Dude, that
two
guy
other
is
sides of
funnier
town.
than you. He clearly set this up. Like he had
Dude,
someone go to your
one-
job. Yo, just yell at this ginger.
The first time it was in Hampton, where I work, and the second time was in Norfolk, 30 minutes away by where I live. It
Wow.
was
Well, here's the thing. You
minutes
should
up the
at
street from my
least
house.
feel confident that somebody recognized you
Yeah, that was how bad. Like, I was like, you know what? It was like that fucking Johnny Depp Pirates of the Caribbean moment where it was like, yeah, well, you have heard of me, right?
Exactly. But you
You're
have
not a
heard of
pirate.
me.
You're not a captain. It's like, oh, but you've heard of me though. That's dope.
I do stand up.
That's funny.
But yeah, so I
So
was at the party.
The worst moment.
So we went on a tangent there. I was at this party.
sorry.
I said
I'm
comedy,
sorry.
and I tell him I'm like, but I'm retired. This is my new line. It's like I've retired from stand-up comedy, but I've retired like Michael Jordan. So like I'm waiting for comedy to need me back, and then I'll return. You know, from my
Triumphant.
stint in
Or you
baseball.
could do like what Jordan did with baseball and just start doing improv.
Hell yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you know.
And do sketch comedy in the meantime too. You'll just play
Yeah.
all the sports.
Exactly.
Golf, baseball.
like
Just
improv
bring
is-
people to your island and film, private films. That's what you.
You know,
in the temple.
good idea.
Yeah.
And no one's ever done it there.
No.
No,
Yeah. None of the
Christine
films have
don't-
made it off the island. But
Honestly,
no, go
there
ahead.
was a no cameras allowed policy when I bought it.
Oh, well, there you go.
It's good
That
to see things are changing though.
Yeah.
They're affecting us.
You didn't even
Right.
have to take the signs down.
What?
I said you didn't even have to take the signs down that said
Well,
no
the
cameras.
signs- Oof, you should have read some of the signs. God.
So you get back, everything shuts down. Have you been to anything? I mean, you said you weren't really doing it, but have you been to anything there? I heard there was a lot of like rooftop shows in the summer and stuff like that. Were you?
Yeah, I mean, like here and there, I was doing, I went out and like I met people and everything like that. But like, yeah, once the winter hit and like things just really slowed down, I hate fucking Zoom calls. I think they're the worst.
Thanks for doing ours, though.
I was gonna say, and anybody who does one is a piece of shit.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know. It's just not stand up to me, and I don't know. It just changed a lot of the way I was like thinking about the world. Like I've been writing a little bit, but not in the same way.
Yeah.
Sure.
Nick talks about this a lot on some of his other podcasts too, where it's like early on in it, we were like, yeah, Zoom isn't the real thing. Your people were, you shit on it and you're like, it's not, but it's also one of those things now where so many people were shitting on it at first, but it's like now everyone's craving something.
Yeah.
And it works to an extent, but there's still there. I mean, no matter how many you do, it's still nothing is like a live audience. Like there's just no way around that.
Because to me, it's like, it seems like it's more for, and I no experience, but it seems like it's more for the comics than it is for the audience. Like I'm just sitting there thinking like, what fucking idiot is like sitting in their room, like on a Zoom call and like watching an open mic.
I'll tell you right now, I've done a few. Nick's done a shit ton, I know, more than me, but I did a few, and early on, like it was like, this is what we're going to have to do right now because this is like early on. We're like, we don't know how bad this is going to get and like how locked down everything's going to be. And like, I did one of Francesca's shows like early on, and like the person right after me was Judah Friedlander. Like he came on and did like 10 minutes.
Which was pretty cool.
Which was cool. Yeah. I was like, I got to be on a fucking Zoom show. But it was like so early on that it was still, I feel like saying it was in its infancy, but a lot of them have gotten better. Like just because I think early on people didn't understand oh God, what's the word? See, I'm forgetting words again, Nick. They didn't understand the etiquette for it. So like people would leave their mics on and like you hear people yelling in the background when like you're trying to do a joke and you hear, get the fuck off the phone. Like you just hear random shit in the background. But now people know if they're smart enough and they're savvy enough and they've been on enough to mute their mics unless they're laughing. Like, cause that's the other thing that's funny. Like people doing drive-in shows and stuff like that. It's weird. I heard a couple different comics talk about it's weird the first time they do a drive-in show and instead of applause, they hear people honking.
Yeah.
And
I was watching HBO Max just put out, Colin Quinn did a thing where it's like him and a bunch of other comics. Like he had Rich Voss host it. It's like Colin Quinn put it together. It's like Robert Kelly's on it. Chris DiStefano's on it. Dan Soder. Bonnie McFarlane, Rachel Feinstein, Sam J, and there's like some other lady who I didn't recognize. There's like a bunch of people on it, but it's literally them doing stand-up in a parking lot. And the first person that goes up is Chris D, and he fucking like they show it. Like it's just footage of him just eating shit. And then afterwards he's
no
like,
honks
oh, man,
of any kind.
Dude. It's like a little bit like laughing here and there, and he's like, all right, one person, thank you. Wow, one person, thank you, whatever. But it's fucking brutal to watch. And then it's like they're all busting his balls for it. So it was cool to have like them actually film that and not leave it out. You know what I mean? As opposed to like normally where you're like, oh, that was a bomb, don't put that anywhere. But it was like they did it, and it's like him struggling through it. And then they fucking busted Rich's balls because afterwards, like when Rich went back up after Chris, he was like, yeah, you guys, like if you like something, honk your horns, make some noise, laugh, enjoy yourselves, like have fun. And then they're all like, me. So then he like blamed it on Rich. He's like, that's why I bombed. You didn't tell them they were allowed to do that. Thanks a lot.
Honestly, I think what I miss most about comedy is watching funny people bomb. Like it's it keeps you going through like every mic is just watching people you know to be funny, who you've seen be funny, just totally eat shit.
Yeah. Well, and that's one of the reasons why like Nick and I agreed that this is similar. Like the reason we call up on people and like shoot the shit is because part of the thing we miss the most is the before show and the after show just bullshitting with comics, because like
and because Carl's lonely.
Yeah, fuck you.
Yeah,
I'm not going to deny that, but in my palace of oh wait, no, you have the palace. But no, it's just like we miss being able to like shoot the shit with comics, because honestly, it's like workshopping for fun. Like you know when you're hanging out with other comics and other people that view the world the same way and make jokes and do all that shit, it feels good to be around people of your own ilk. And we don't get to do that. And when we're all on fucking lockdown and everything, it's like we miss that part too. So I can do a Zoom open mic, or I can do a workshop with, like I was on Host Battle a couple weeks ago, and that was cool with Winston and Chris. And it was just nice to see that I'm not the only one who misses it, which, obviously I'm not the only one that misses it, but it was nice to like give it a shot and try things and be like, I don't want this to die on the vine because I'm not doing it. I mean, we're all going to come back and be rusty as fuck when we're allowed to, but there's some people that are going to be a lot less rusty because they're doing 15 Zoom shows a week and like 2 mics that they have to, wear a hazmat suit to do. But
well, you realize how much you miss the ball busting. That's like the one thing that I miss most is just like hanging out, shooting the shit, bullshitting, and telling people that they suck.
Yeah, which is why he dumps it all on me when we do this shit.
Like, yeah, dude.
You do these shows.
Yeah. I'm like, Carlton, I hate you. Can I do your show, please?
No, it's
fuck
like
you. Give me stage time.
I know you guys hung out in like how much you guys like Nick. I don't know how much you hung out in Richmond, but like that little room. I'm thinking about like that little room in what the pub upstairs. You know what I'm talking?
Penny Lane.
Penny Lane. Yeah.
That little
Hell
room at the end of Penny Lane.
Yep.
And I just remember, Brandon Beswick just fucking destroying everybody in that room, intermittently as they got off stage,
Oh yeah.
And that feels like a million years ago to me.
Yeah.
Like that's wild. And but yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I miss the shit out of it.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like I think what it is so many people, I mean, and like big name comics that are doing, that have podcasts and stuff like that, they talk about that too, where it's like they literally, huh?
I said like you guys.
No. Oh yeah, all our singles of viewers.
Yeah, we some of these videos are getting into the double digits of views.
Yeah, tens of views.
Yes, exactly. But no, I mean, like different comics have talked about it, where it's like they're just trying to do something, like creating like the whole reason we do this too is not just to bust balls and have a good time and check on everybody, because that's really what we wanted to do. Like
Carlton's
that was the whole
I really don't care how you're doing.
Well, fuck you. No, but I mean that really is what it is. Like the original concept was I've got some comic friends that are like, like Mark Maron, verge of suicide type comics, that it's like if they don't get checked on, someone's never going to see them again. So the idea was to like make sure everybody's doing a good job or doing okay and all this, because some people are not going to come out the other end of this as comics.
Hell yeah.
And that's the other thing. Nick is excited about that part, but
you're thinning out the herd, baby.
Yeah,
I don't
right.
give a fuck. I want my stage time.
The Thanos snap for comedians.
Dude, I hope to God. Dude, fucking half of them. Boom. Adios, bitch.
Yeah.
You weren't nice to me to begin with, and now you don't want to do stand-up anymore? That's fine.
You didn't
Right.
show up to my open mic. Fuck you.
Hell
Snap. Yeah. So the whole
I gave you
concept is
tickets
really
to
just
push the show I put you on, and you didn't even bother. Goodbye.
But yeah, it's like people are just trying to make something happen, and creating any kind of content right now just at least keeps the gears a little bit going. But I mean, I can't even imagine trying to do it like where you are, because just the population density alone, like here, a good show, a decent show here at an open mic would be 15 people that weren't comics.
Right.
And that would be a decent turnout. But up there, like, you can't even put 15 people anywhere because the room, I mean, it'd be like putting them in the room behind me, and you couldn't do it. So
that's where people want to be when you're doing stand up.
nah. So like I can see how rough it would be up there. See, sometimes he just makes himself laugh, and that's good enough. But I just can't even imagine that. So I get that you just weren't doing it.
The like yin and yang of this podcast is like Carlton's like, yeah, I just want to check on people and make sure people are having a good time. And Nick's like, fucking kill yourself.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude.
The old ginger and the young ginger. That's younger ginger, I should say.
The good cop, bad cop podcast.
Hell yeah,
hey, whatever,
100%. I got nothing to live for. That's the sad part. I'm the younger of the two, and I'm like, I got nothing. I got nothing.
All projection.
Oh, dude, it's all in. I'm all in for this. Till we have a video log of me cyberbullying Carlton and he kills himself, and they're like, "What happened?" I'm like, "I don't fucking know, dude. I never saw."
Really admired the guy. I thought he had potential.
I'd just like to address the court that this will inevitably be shown in.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, dude, it was all just jokes. I thought we were kidding. I thought we were just kidding here.
He's gonna type it all out and go, see, we went by a script.
Oh yeah, 100%. I'm gonna go back through every episode.
So are you guys drinking?
I am.
Currently, right now?
Yeah.
Not this very moment. Carlton just loves plugging Busky. That's the thing. If I'm gonna keep doing
dude,
this show
Busky
with you,
has
bro,
been so fucking good to me, and they're
if
about
I'm
to be
going
even
to
better,
keep doing this show with you, you should get me a case of Busky, because I'm not a beer guy. I love ciders. I'm a cider boy.
I do know you love Busky.
Oh, dude. That's my favorite show to do, mostly because it's like when they're like, we'll pay you in booze, it's actually booze I like.
Yeah. So, well,
hell yeah.
We're
I like apples.
We're getting ready to start it back up, hopefully.
Nice.
Limited, obviously, but did you see any of the stuff online when we were doing the outdoor stuff?
I saw pictures.
Yeah.
Like I follow plenty of people who were like on the show.
Yeah.
I think, Nick posted 200 pictures when he was there.
Dude, I'll tell you what, we were one of the first ones to come back live, and it blew up just like the room itself blew up. I was so fucking stoked. So
you guys were the only people doing anything in town. That's the thing.
I know, that's the best part. Like we were doing really well when everybody was doing stuff, and then we were one of the first people to come back because
I think you guys were the first, honestly, really.
Yeah, we were. I know we were in Richmond that was of any, like, I know Hoff tried to do some stuff. I think Moo filmed something at Hoff, and like 5 or 6 people were allowed to come in. But he filmed it.
That's nothing.
So it was like,
yeah, but he filmed it. He was recording it. He was doing it as a recording. But yeah, we were the first like live show to do anything, and then a bunch of people started to follow suit because, and we were modeled after anybody who tried doing something outdoors. It's not like we were pioneers of it. It was just like we found the space because we were trying to do 8 different things and none of them panned out. And then all of a sudden it's like, why don't we do it out the back door? And once that took off, Busky dumped money into buying tables and chairs and shit. And
which, in all honesty, that worked so well as like that loading dock worked so well as a natural stage too. It was really cool.
Yeah, because
aside from the fact that I have video of me on stage and a dumpster immediately to the left, which I'm like, fuck yeah. This is right where I belong.
Well, it wasn't much of a jump for you to make.
Hell yeah, dude.
I think you even said that. But
yeah,
no,
I have a video where I go, hey, if this doesn't work, I'm just gonna jump in the dumpster. So I was like, if this doesn't go well, I'll just jump in the trash can, and you guys.
Yeah, but see, that wouldn't work for Beau, because up there they were doing rooftop shows, and if it didn't work, he jumped off a roof. That not the same.
Yeah, but it feels maybe more appropriate, honestly.
Hell yeah.
Like I say, like I mean, do you not feel like that after like I mean, I was worried at some point, like you go to an open mic on a roof and you're just like you watch some people bomb and you're like, oh man, there should be fencing.
If it hits them hard enough, yeah, I can see that. But
you already have like mentally unstable people doing comedy. And then you
Exactly.
put them on a roof where there's no barriers, and they're like, fine, this is it. This is the last set I'll ever do.
if you guys don't laugh at this shit, I swear to God, I'm jumping off of that. And they'll commit to the bit. Some people will commit fully to the bit.
Dude, I did comedy, in New York, very brief, right, for a couple of months before everything shut down. But I will tell you, I saw some weird fucking acts. Like just why? I mean, like, like I think in like Richmond or like Virginia Beach or DC even, it's like you go and you see people do stand up, but it's people who like really like it, and you can tell like they sort of get what's happening. In New York, there's like people that I'm just like, they're in here because they're homeless and this is the only time they get to come inside. Like this is like, I saw a dude literally like he was just staring at a woman and talking about how he was gonna murder her. And I was like, is this a bit? Like, is this a joke? Like, no one was laughing. It was just super awkward. I was like, is this how this guy masturbates? Like, does he do this and then go home and like this is how we get to, like, it was so fucking surreal. And like,
and so, you had to follow him, didn't you?
No. But the guy who followed him actually did really well.
Ma'am, I'm gonna just say I do not want to murder you. I just want to murder this set, and then boom.
And the audience was on his side immediately, right?
Exactly.
Like he crushed. When you set the I found when the person before you sets the bar really like there's a difference between killing the room and like setting the bar so low that the audience wants anything even passable.
That's why Nick always wants me to go before him. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
He's my fluffer.
Exactly. Basically. In so many senses of the word.
Because you don't kill the room, you're just bad enough.
Yeah.
That's what it's going to say
put
on my
tombstone. Life support.
That's what it's going to say on my tombstone. Carlton Catello, just bad enough.
Yeah, it's a hard balance to strike. I will admit.
Mm-hmm.
So when you were in the UK, did you do? I'm guessing you had to have done stuff over there.
Yeah. So I did London. For the majority of the time that I was there, I went to Paris a couple of times, and Germany a couple of times. And when I was there, like I remember I went to a comedy club in Paris with Stella, actually. Stella Nallo met me in Paris, and we went to this like Parisian comedy club, and they only spoke in French. And we just like sat and like we had no idea what the fuck was going on. We like didn't laugh at like anything. And eventually they figured out we speak English, and they were like, why the fuck did you come to this show? And we're like, we wanted to experience comedy in French.
I mean, did you get on stage a lot in the UK though?
Yeah. And then I went, so like the coolest experience I had while I was there, I went to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, which I don't know if you guys have heard of it. It's like, it's in Edinburgh, Scotland, and it's like the biggest arts festival in the world and like the longest running. And it's just a month, the full month.
Jesus Christ.
Holy shit.
Full month of August. And every day there is thousands of comedy shows. Like literally thousands. And it was insane. Like, so
damn.
Did you get on that or did you just go to it?
Well, I mean, so I didn't have a show. Like you have to apply like a year in advance.
Oh, okay.
To get a show, to have a show running. But like I was in London and I was doing stand up and like I was meeting people and like a bunch of my friends were like, oh yeah, we got a show in Edinburgh. We're going to be there. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I might show up. And they're like, yo, just come, just be there that whole month and we'll get you spots. Like they hand them out like fucking candy, and they do,
Nice.
Like if you know a couple of people who are like working in shows. And so I was getting on 2-3 times a day for a month solid.
Oh man.
And on these, and sometimes it was a basement, with 3 people in the audience, and other times it was like
still better than here sometimes.
Hey, I was like, I'm used to this. And then sometimes it was, a full room, 100 people, just absolutely packed. And then there was like, I got to meet like a lot of cool people. I met like, there was this show that happened every night at this bar called the Frankenstein, which was just the American show. And so every American expatriate that was like at the Fringe would go to that show basically every night. We had sort of a rotating cast of characters. Sometimes people are doing something, but I met every American basically who was at the Fringe. And yeah, it was just fucking incredible. So much
Yeah,
fun.
that sounds awesome.
Comedy, and it's a comedy festival more or less. Like it's an arts festival, so they have like circus acts and singers and
One guy just staring at a girl going, I'm going to murder you. Oh wait,
Yeah,
no, that was
Gonna kill
that guy
you.
tours all over the world. He's fucking famous.
Yeah, everywhere that guy goes, he just
kills.
murders. He murders.
Damn it, you beat me to it.
Yeah, well, it was easy. It was an easy
Yeah.
joke to make,
That's
Carl.
good.
Set up. Good, set up.
Good, wow.
That's awesome, dude. That sounds like that sounds like where Nick needs to be.
What, away from you?
Overseas and away from me. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's trying to thin the herd.
Damn right. I'm gonna Thanos snap your ass at some point.
That's fine, you old piece of shit. I bet your fingers break when you snap, you old fuck.
I can't get the
You
quite. No.
fragile bone having bitch.
So
Let me
when you
drink your
left
milk.
when you left Richmond, you went right to UK, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So for some reason, I thought you went from Richmond to New York and then New York to UK and back to New York. So you did the Bermuda Triangle thing.
No, I made a trip to New York. I made a trip to New York before I left, but like I think it was a couple months before.
Okay.
So I had been to New York and I was there with like a friend, and then I left for the UK and then came back.
Okay, yeah. Because when you did Busky, like you were, like I said, I was pretty sure you were on your way out. Like I think, didn't you even say it was like, I'd love to do this before I leave forever or for the next year.
Wasn't that the
or
last
whatever.
show you did in Richmond? Wasn't that Busky?
It may have been or maybe
If
I
it
thought
if
we
it
were
wasn't,
talking
it was
about
pretty
that
damn
before.
close.
no, Busky. Look, Busky was the first show I did after I got back.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, I had gotten back
okay.
to New York. I came down to Richmond.
Oh, okay.
Now I remember.
I was gonna say you said it was like 10. You were there for 10 months, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, was it really that long ago? But okay, I gotcha. That makes more sense.
September, but the September before, because
because 2020 feels like such a fucking wash.
Exactly.
I couldn't put the time frame together. But okay, yeah, that makes more
Who
sense.
knows how long ago it was?
Yeah. Well, now that you're back in New York, if you do want to come back down and you want to give it a shot again,
You want some free cider?
we are working on it.
I was actually talking to Alex Castaigne just the other day about coming down and staying with him in DC.
Oh, cool.
And so if I do that, I mean, like I want to come back down to Richmond for and Virginia generally, because like I know some people up here, but like my plan was like do comedy, meet people.
Yeah.
Fucking,
well,
that's a good plan when
Right,
the world's
I know.
not ending.
Yeah. Any other time you'd have been fucking set, but
Yeah, you had a good lineup.
I don't know if you've heard what we've got going on here too, but we're going to have a new comedy club opening right in the heart of the city, which is going to be
where Champion used to be.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sandman Comedy Club is going to be opening. So Nick's going to be on the grand opening for it because I'm organizing it, but not because I'm
bar real low.
Yeah, but I am organizing that thing because Hodges got me connected to the owners and stuff, and we started doing some stuff. But we're pumped for that because that means we don't have to fucking go to Short Pump for an actual comedy club. We're gonna have headliners coming through there every week.
Yo, that's awesome.
So yeah, it's like the Richmond scene is kind of finally coming into its own a little more than just that one place out at a distant mall.
Right.
And 4 million open mics. Because for a while we had some nights where it was like 3 open mics in one night, which is great unless they're all at the same fucking time.
Right.
Well, that's a poor communication on people running shows.
Yeah. Well, it's always somebody saying, "Oh, I can do a better open mic than you," and then people get torn between where to go. So
does Richmond yet have a more elegant solution than the Brandon Beswick run website?
Well, what's funny about that, it's funny you say that because we started to get a lot of people on the RVA comedy thing going, all these mics are listed on the calendar. Are they still going on? It's like, no, moron. It's the middle of a fucking pandemic. None of these half of these places aren't even in business anymore.
Yep.
So like again, it's like thinning out the herd. You got some, there's
some
comics that have got their shit together,
back.
and some people shouldn't be allowed out of their house without a helmet. So
yes,
it's
natural selection, baby. Let's hope.
Yeah, but I think once everything starts coming back, like in a legitimate way, that stuff will pick back up. But I mean, that worked really well when somebody was doing it. But like, I think even Beswick was like, Beswick never left his house for like the first 6 months of this thing.
Yeah, well, he pretty much was like, "Why should I update it? There's nothing to update."
There's nothing to update. Yeah. So,
Hey, will you change those dates on there and just take them all off?
Can you put Zoom mics on there? It's like, no, I'm not going to try and keep up with your fucking Zoom mics.
Right.
But
I know it was a labor of love. I always thought it was so funny because it's like, because there would be the website and then there would be the Facebook group, and then people would ask Brandon like in the Facebook group, and he'd have to be like, "Yo, I don't fucking know," like I don't get paid, you don't pay
no
me.
Clue.
Yeah.
Well,
consultant.
we know it's. I mean, there's just enough people trying to keep it alive, and like Deez has said stuff like this before. It is thinning out the herd, and maybe when we come back, we'll have a whole new group of people. I know somebody who actually tried to start doing stand up right when all this started because it just happened to be when it happened. It's the shittiest time to try.
What a shame.
But it is what it is. So. Hopefully you haven't soured on it completely, because I thought you did killer when you were at Busky, and that was literally the first time I'd actually seen you do it because you had moved away. So
I appreciate it. I love doing your show. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I had a good time. I'm glad we at least got to catch you on your island, and your internet wasn't too bad way out there on the seas.
He's got his toes in the water.
Right. There's like some like, I don't know what to call them, dungeons underneath the house.
Weird.
And I don't know what
servants' quarters. No, that's not right either.
Maybe, I don't know. I think
that's probably not the good. That's not a good phrasing for it either.
Pets.
They're kennels. They're kennels. There you go.
Oh, I feel dirty.
Yeah, me too. I think we should just wash our hands the whole thing.
Go wash your house.
Well, man, it was good talking to you. I'm glad you're doing all right. I hope to see you in the flesh at some point, since we know you can't catch COVID again. So
right, exactly.
Woo-hoo! Yeah.
Woo!
Thanks for doing this, man.
Yeah, of course. Hey, and thanks for having me on. Glad you guys are doing well. Hope to see you soon.
All right, man.
Later,
Talk to
buddy.
you later.